Hi guys, and welcome back to This Model Engineers Workshop. Today in the workshop, spring blocks, keeps, and horn cheeks. Sounds a bit like a crossword clue, doesn't it? Come on, let's take a look. Hi guys, I'm the chef. As I just said in the little intro there, spring blocks, keeps, and horn cheeks. Right, this is a block of steel. Machined it to size along with its three other partners, so 4 in total. Many moons ago, as well as I was learning to use the machinery, I find that a useful, or rather I found it a useful exercise. Just turning some of the simple bits on the lathe and some of the straightforward squaring up jobs and getting to size bits on the mill. This one, as you can notice, has 4 holes and then drilled in it, and they've been bottomed out. Yeah, you probably can't quite see that, never mind. You can see a little bit of surface rust forming, but that's no problem at the moment. For the springs themselves, these then get mounted to the inside of the frames. As you'll notice, their holes are slightly off center. So this side is the frame side, this is the outside, so the outside of the inside, something like that anyway. These still need their 4 holes drilling in to match the frames, and then these can be bolted onto the frames. They also get Loctited according to the drawings, so I will be doing that. And Loctite and bolts, they go on, they'll be on permanently, and then they'll get grip blasted and painted when I take everything apart again and taken away to the local grip blaster. This is one of the 4 keeps. Again, simple sort of machining job. You've progressed from just making straightforward blocks. You go into then what is then a block this thick, and then you machine that recess into it the right size and drill the holes. Now those 2 holes go with these. You can see there's the bolts. These are the horn cheeks. This is the bearing surface here for where the axle box runs up and down on. I'll put this one in upside down just to show you that. Then these then bolt into the frames. These then go, once they're bolted in, this keep bolts to the bottom. That stops the axle box dropping out. This then is the spring block. Wonderful. There we go. Let's balance that back on top of there. Tell you what, let's put that one back there so you can imagine all of that. Tell you what, let's do this sensibly. If you imagine that is the setup basically, once it's in the frames all nice and square, that's the frame side. So frame side down. You're basically seeing that without the 2 bolts here because they're down here. And that's what the setup is in each axle cut out in the frames themselves. Something like that. There we go. And that centers up there and there. So you've got the 4 springs on top of each, bearing down on the top of each axle box, which will be a job once the frames have come back from the grip blasters. Righto guys, so I've got 4 of these blocks to finish. They need 4 holes and drilled and tapped M6 in each. And I'll get back to you when I've got that done. But in the meantime, I want to show you something on the frames. Right, so back again guys. In the last video I alluded to the fact that I'd made a mistake in these side frames when I redrew them, or rather copied the drawings, ready for the laser cutter copier. Isn't that great? As you can see, this is one of the horn keeps to stop the axle boxes dropping out and keep the frames together. Here, nice fit, no worries, that will be fine. They don't rattle, they'll keep the whole locomotive together. Over here, this is the rear axle. When I did the drawing, see that? Obviously what I've done, well I know what I did because I've been back and altered the drawing already. I drew this little cutout, but I'd marked the line here and in the CAD program, meaning to put this little cutout on this side of the line, and I've gone that side of the line and I didn't even notice it, and I checked and checked and checked, but it just goes to show you sometimes your eyes just don't see what might be so obvious. Right, and a better option I suppose would have been to copy this whole piece from here, the front axle, but for the same thing I could have got this one wrong and copied it there and have to correct the same mistake twice. So what I'm going to have to do, guys, is I'm going to have to mark this out on here. I don't know if you can spot that, but yes, you can. I've got both frames bolted back to back, 3 bolts holding it all together nice and tight. And I'm going to have to have a check of the drawing, mark that line here, draw that line across, put this in the vise, this edge upwards, and then I'm going to make 2 or 3 hacksaw cuts and then just file that bit away. I will then have to have a scratch and think whether it's worthwhile putting a little block in there just to take up the slack. The horn keeps themselves, which bolt on the in between these actually, once they're separated by the width of the frames themselves, do actually come as far as this edge. So they will be able to help support it with the bolts. But yeah, I might just need to make a little 5mm key or slipper or something just to drop into there. All right, guys, I'll get that done and filed out and cleaned up, and I'll bring you back once I've done that. Okay, guys, that's 5 minutes gone. So as you can see, that notch is now twice the size than that one. The horn keeps fit there now. I've just got to try and work out whether it's worth it to put some kind of little a little slipper or something in here. I don't want to be welding or brazing on these, they might twist. Unlikely, but you've seen my welding before. I'm not a good welder. Little piece of something, maybe 5x4, maybe a couple of little wedges and hammer them in or whatever, I don't know. I'll have a think and I'll get back to that one at a later date. All right, let's move on with this video now. Okay. Righto, guys, so I've got the first of the blocks set up in the mill vise. Usual story with the zeros on this corner here, because that's the one that I've set as my 0 reference point. 4 holes, 1, 2, 3, 4 times 4. So center drill, change the drill, change the center drill out, put the drill in, 5mm drill through, take that out, move on to the next hole, and then hand tapping M6. So 16 times that, 16 times tapping. Once I get that far, I'll bring you back. All right, guys, speak to you in a bit. Righto, guys, that's me back again. All the holes, come on, focus, thank you. All the holes are now drilled. M6 by 1. This is the last block. I've just tapped the 4 holes in there. As you can see, this is a little bit shinier than the others, and I'll make a confession here. That's the first M6 tap. As you can see, I broke it, and of course it broke off in such a position there was nothing sticking out, nothing I could grab hold of. I tried breaking it, chipping it out, even tried heating the block just to try and see if a bit of an expansion would loosen it up and try I could maybe just get a little bit of twist on it so I could get it to turn back for me, so I could grab hold of it, but wasn't going to play ball. So nothing left to do. That piece went in the scrap bin, literally in the bin. So this is a brand new piece. Fortunately, I still had some of the stock. Again, 30 by 16 by 98. I had a little bit left over. Had to redo the spring pockets and tap the 4 M6 holes, which was the job in the first place. Must admit, didn't video that. I was a bit fagged off with myself for a silly mistake. I must have just tried twisting the tap too far too fast. I was a bit fagged off. I'm surprised the old block didn't end up in somebody's garden like 4 houses down. I was really fagged off with myself, but never mind. Okay, moving on to the frames. As you can see, this first set, I've got the other 3 axle box setups in. So spring block, horn keeps, and the actually axle box keep there, the horn cheeks spring block, they're in. They're not in correctly yet. I've just quickly put them in, just so you can see this one's not quite gone in straight yet. So loosen everything off, jiggle them around. I'm going to get my adjustable parallels out, get the large one out, get that set to 48.05, 48.1 mil, something like that. Gives me somewhere between 2 and 4 thou clearance on the axle box, so it'll be a nice sliding fit. And once I get that happy and all clamped together, then of course we tighten down the bolts and they'll go in basically then for keeps. As you can see, they're with a washer and a nylock lock nut. As per my usually anal retentive way, washers are pressing, so one side is round, one side is sharp and square. Sharp square side always with me goes down, so the rounded edges are up against the nut where it doesn't matter a hoot. So one to go. As you can see, I've done a bit of fettling on the frames. I've just very quickly put a reasonable countersink in there just to make sure there's any burrs on the underside of the bolt head or anything like that. They will then sink in and go down flat. I also noticed with these other three, I've taken a file along that inside edge just to put a little bit of a 45-degree chamfer both sides. You can't see it, unfortunately. Just to take the sharp edge off. Of course, the laser cutting gives a very square edge. When you do the... Where's the bits gone? There we are. When you mill that kind of shoulder, are we going to focus? Yes, when you do that kind of shoulder, as much as it looks sharp, it actually isn't. It's actually got a little bit of a round in the bottom of it. So you're trying to get a square corner to set against a rounded corner, which doesn't work. So, little file along the inside of that edge. And there you go. You can see that now sits in perfectly. That might actually be the case with, say, like this one, that I might just need to take the file a little bit more to that 45 degree, make it a little bit larger just so that this horn cheek will set back here against the frames. Right, so leave that with me for the moment, guys. I'm just going to get this bolted in place, and I'll set the frames up properly on the bench and flat, and I'll bring you back and we'll take a proper look once they're all in place. See you in a bit, guys. Okay, it's back again. So as you can see, 4 bolts here. They hold in that nice big spring block. That's the new one. The 2 horn cheeks, these are now set up properly. As you can see, a little bit of fettling I did on the frames has meant they've sat back really, really nicely. The axle box keep is bolted on. This is my large adjustable parallel. I've set this to 48.05 millimeters with my calipers. As you can see, if I can get that to go in, there we are. That's a nice, easy sliding fit. So that will give me, when I get the axle boxes and the rear axle box rear covers put together and then machine to size, I'll number each one and machine the box to actually fit this particular slot. So as long as they're all at 48 mil, then I've got literally 2-3 thousandths of an inch clearance. So that axle box, as you can see, like this adjustable parallel is doing, will slide up nice and easy. Bit of oil, bit of whatever, just to help lubricate everything, and we will be fine. Look at that, it's even just tight enough. It's just going to hold itself there. Righto, guys, I'm going to do the other 3. That one and that one and that one. And I'm going to call this video to a close. So guys, once again, if you can find it within yourselves to actually like, subscribe, hit the bell, it'll all help. It's most appreciated. It just seems to make everything worthwhile. I'm really enjoying doing these videos. I hope you guys are too. Any prospective wombat builders in the future, it's going to be a useful source, especially if they're like me and a beginner. This is the way I'm doing it. Might not be the right way, might not be everybody else's way, but this is the way I'm doing it. So guys, again, please like, subscribe, hit the bell for any notifications when the next video comes up, and I'll see you in the next one. That will hopefully be in about a fortnight's time. All right, guys, thanks a lot. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now. Hi guys, back again. Little quick update. I've done this set of axle horn cheeks and the keep and everything, and I've done that one. Here you can see the adjustable parallel that I have a set of them, nice and heavy. Set this to 48.05 millimeters, just with my calipers. I then loosened all of this off, took the bolts out, the keep here, and took that away. Made sure this one was in its right place, this being the front of the loco here to the right. Got this one in and that one in, nice and tight up against the frames, so they should be in relative position to the others, with it being laser cut and everything being square. They're in the right places. And then this was just loose and dangling here. Put the parallel in, so it's got good contact all the way along, nice and square. It's going to stay there, yes it is. Literally then just with a hand and a couple of spanners underneath, squeezed this one up as tight as it would go, got the middle bolt tightened up, leaving it there, and then went back, tightened. This one was the only bolt that was tightened up on the front one, tightened this one, and then went back to this one and this one. As you can see, that's nice. So when I get round to machining the axle boxes, which is going to be almost the next one, nice sliding fit. I know this to be, as I say, 48.05 millimeters. So this will give me that size here and here. So the axle boxes get machined to 48 mil. I will then also be numbering all of these parts as we go along. So I know that with this being the front, this is axle box 1, 2, 3, 4. So looking in the direction of the loco, reading left to right, top to bottom, literally as you look at it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Same with the tender. The front left is box 1, box 2, box 3, box 4. Righto guys, so I'm going to call this one to an end. As I just thought I'd let you see how I've set the axle boxes to the right spacing. The horn keeps, the axle boxes are something else. And right, yep, leave it at that guys. So again, please like, subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you in the next video. All right guys, bye for now.